authentic self to work. And that's just the truth of the matter. Lately, I'd say I'm bringing more of my authentic self to work, but the reality is there are stereotypical ideas that people have of being Black, being a Black woman. And so I'm constantly thinking about ways to not check off another box and to not be written off in the workplace. And so what that makes me do is pull back.
I remember a previous division director saying to me, Alicia, why do you show up in a business casual environment every day in a blazer, in heels? Like, why is that your dress of choice? And I had never even asked myself why. And I started to think about it, and I had to unpack those things. And I was like, it's because I was told dress for where you're going, not for where you are, you know. And I had to realize that that blazer didn't change my qualifications. And that having a sleek bob didn't change if I had a bob or if I had braids. So now I'll show up with 2 inches of hair or 22 inches of hair because my hair does not determine who I am.
So for me, I can confidently say that I've been a part of something that's been extremely healthy to allow me to be the best person that I can be in my authentic and genuine way, right? I think the second part of your question, have I toned down my Blackness? Was that it? I think it goes back to professionalism, right? And if you are a constant professional in and out, you don't necessarily have to worry about that, right? Your personal being, the edge that you bring, the dynamic of who you are, that's going to resonate with people that you interact with on a daily basis. They can see that, they can feel that. That's authentic in and of itself. You don't have to tone that down or up, right? Regardless of what you may look like, Black, white, yellow, brown, doesn't matter.
Again, I can just say that by God's grace, I haven't had to change how I dress in certain roles. I mean, again, you're in a business place, you're going to be business casual, whichever, right? Or wear your suits. But I've never had to do that. So I would say that I've learned a lot along the way. And that I just try to stay true to who I am, because people actually respect that. If you bring your true, authentic self, people respect what you bring to the table. And even here at Nuance, I can say that I've met a lot of folks in all different backgrounds.
If I think about, like, in terms of my Blackness, right? Because I thought about that question for a while. And so I had to think about it because in my mind, I didn't really have to tone down. I'm just who I am. I don't really believe in that. But then I thought about something I didn't think about. When I first started out my career, and I think you're probably going to say the same too, Shannon, is most people wore their hair straight. Like my hair is blow dry straight. It's blow dry straight today, okay? And so when I got out of college, that's what everybody did, you know, kind of without us realizing to kind of fit in, right? And we didn't even think about about not straightening our hair. It just became of what we did. That's what our parents did. And so as we started looking for jobs outside of college, we straightened our hair. And so when I think about that piece, not realizing it, that's one of the things I've always done to kind of tone it down. But let me tell you how I think about it differently today, right? So my daughter's coming out of college. She didn't straighten her hair. And so she asked me, now she's going to graduate tomorrow, do I straighten my hair? And you know what I said to her? No.
But I really think back to my college experience. I went to a local university, UNC Chapel Hill, which is a primarily white institution. And I remember my first couple weeks on campus as I was introducing myself to others, I'd say, hey, my name is Levelton. And they would say, what? And I would say, my name is Levelton. And they would always give me this blank stare. And on the fourth or fifth time of saying my name is Levelton, I would say, oh, you can just call me Levy. And they'd say, oh, Levy, yeah, Levy. And junior or senior year, I met another leader in the Black student movement. Her name was Shaniqua. And by that time, I had almost been preconditioned to say, hey, my name is Levelton, but you can call me Levy. And she said, no, Levelton is your name. I'll call you Levelton. Never apologize for your name. And since then, I've always stood in the fact that my name is Levelton. And no matter how many times I have to say that or repeat it, my name is still Levelton at the end of the day.
I only know how to be me. Life is hard enough than to be trying to be somebody else or figure out, something different. So I figure as long as I'm professional and respectful, then being me should be enough. And it has been, so I have a big mouth. I have a big laugh, a big personality. A lot of people enjoy being in the same office as me because they say I liven things up. So I have been fortunate, not to have to be somebody else in order to be at work.
I have experienced many, many occasions in my adult working life that I am the only Black woman that someone has worked with. And so they have potentially received stereotypes. If you talk loud, if you have an outgoing personality, you'll hear phrases like calm down, which I hate when somebody tells me to calm down, because I never hear them say to a white man who may have a point or may, really believe in what they're trying to articulate, they never say calm down. And so to not be offended by that, that I will deliberately think about how I'm going to articulate something so that somebody doesn't perceive that my manner of speech is me being either upset or aggressive.